This is a Misfit Nation production.
You want to be in front of the cartel?
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the studio, they are the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment. Crishaun the Don and Wunda from Kayfabe Cartel.
You're staying. You belong to the cartel now.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am here. This is the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment, the Kayfabe Cartel. And we are here. Well, I am here. Wonder might be joining us in a little bit. So this may not just be a little solo Sokoa show. You know what I mean? Yeah, here to talk about, do a little review of Smackdown. WWE Smackdown. That took place this Friday. Shout out to Peter Ortiz. Appreciate you, my friend. Always in the building, always showing support on either front, Misfit Nation or Kayfabe. We do appreciate you. Oh, and look, Pete Ortiz just dropped a line too. That LA Knight Logan Paul promo was fire. Yes, I'll get to that actually. But I'm sorry if I'm a little drowsy here. I rewatched Cody Rhodes promo from Friday, which let's just get right into it. That's what opened the show. And I'm feeling fucking drowsy. That was a really bad choice on my side to actually rewatch that hunk of shit. This may be Cody's most boring promo ever. And I know it's hard to top it. It's almost like he has to try to top his last boring promo. But this was worse than all his other promos, because at least like you could always, maybe if you're gonna play devil's advocate, you can go, hey, at least he has like the energy, he has the intensity behind what he's saying. This promo, I don't know if he just fucking woke up and stepped out of his bus and right to the SmackDown set, but it was no energy. It was lackluster. There was nothing noteworthy that he said or that he ever says. Let's be honest. It was, basically him ball washing Randy Orton, which is just, let's be real, getting fucking cringe. This trio that they have going, this Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes. It really just cringes me out. I don't know why. It just seems really fake to me. I don't feel like these guys really hang out in real life, which, maybe they do, but I just can't picture Cody Rhodes hanging out with anybody in real life. He ball washes Randy Orton for half the promo, and then he but let me also say this so Cleveland, what do you want to talk about? It sucks every time. It's the worst opener to a promo that any champion has ever had. Name one worse than that. It's not finally The Rock has come back. It's not fucking acknowledge me. What else is there? I mean, there's other ones I just can't rattle off the top of my head. I'm just fucking, my brain has been drained from rewatching that Cody Rhodes promo. Another thing that annoys me with Cody, now that I'm nitpicking every little thing about him, he has a bad breath control with his promo. I don't know what it is, because first off, he has that Shakespearean delivery, and then he adds this thing with his like breathing where it's like he's like running out of breath. And Solo Sokoa Solo Sikoa cost me everything. It's like, fucking, like, what are you doing? You're not even hyped to do that. Because Sami Zayn does that a lot. And he does it when he's like super hype. So I get it. But this thing that he's doing, it's like it's fucking hurting my throat to do it right now. Let me tell you about my father. It's like running out of air. And then he'll say like 2 words and do that. And it's like, do you really need to breathe after 2 words? At SummerSlam, me and Solo Sikoa. All right. Another thing, they really need to start. They shouldn't make him wrestle people with S in their names. They should really book around his speech impediment from now on. Solo Sikoa. Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. Fucking strip that title. Oh, jeez. Excuse me. Strip that title from him and send his ass back to the mid card. If that. I'd tell him, listen, either bring back Stardust or come up with something better, or we're not putting you on TV anymore. But again, for some reason, the fans fucking eat it up. Is it the fucking the whoa music? Really? And then, let me just get to the end here, and then I'll jump back around, but because it's the continuation of the night. Cody Rhodes teams up with Kevin Owens. There's this whole thing. Oh, who's his partner going to be? And of course, it's nobody special. It's Kevin Owens, the guy he's been teaming with for the past fucking 4 weeks. To take on the A-Town Down Under. A-Town Downers. And Cody comes out to the ring in all his glory, like a politician, signing autographs on the way to the ring. And more or less, Cody and KO win. I didn't really see any surprise there. And then the again, I guess another like kind of predictable thing. We kind of knew the Bloodline was going to come out and destroy and massacre. Now, the thing I'll say is I do love the fact that Jacob Fatu is being very well protected. He's like literally not taking any damage. Any damage. He's not selling shit. He's just massacring fucking main eventers like it's nothing. He was like ramming KO in the corner, Kevin Owens in the corner, like over and over. And I don't know what it was, but it sounded like the ring was going to break apart. It just sounded like metal slamming against each other. Some metal like beams or something. Yeah. And, basically, I guess the storyline there is guilt by association. We're just going to fucking destroy everybody who Cody Rhodes is friends with. And I guess it's kind of a bit of that mafia storyline that's going. It's kind of, the old boss is gone, the new boss is here, but he's worse. Solo Sikoa. His new crew is even more dangerous. You kind of wish for the old days. Paul Heyman is Maury from Maury's Wigs. He's not family. He's not family. At the end of the day, we have to make sure all your blood traces back to the Samoan ancestors. It's one of those things, it was between the Samoans, real greaseball shit. So they took out Paul Heyman, and that's kind of where we're at. And I definitely I believe most people are predicting Roman Reigns coming back at SummerSlam. I kind of want to go against the grain just to be contrarian. And because I kind of want to piss on Triple H's shitty booking that he never pays off anything at pay-per-views anymore. And I'm starting to get to the place where I'm not expecting the PLE's pay-per-views to really have any payoff. So we'll see. I mean, I think it would be great. Let Solo Sikoa just take that shit off of him. Fuck him. Fuck him. Enough. Enough of Cody Rhodes. It's not working. I don't understand the appeal. I just never will, I guess. I don't get it. Don't get it. That was Peter Ortiz agreeing here. That was Cody's worst promo, and that's saying something. Definitely. Definitely. You're saying the lisp is fake? The lisp is fake, though. He doesn't even talk like that in interviews. Maybe when he slows down, so you're saying that he's like trying to do that to maybe like have the connection that his father had? Like he's trying to have that appeal? You know what? I wouldn't put it past that fucking fake asshole, Cody Rhodes. So he's trying to be endearing to the audience and mimic his father's lisp. I could see it. You know what? Let's start that rumor. Is that a rumor yet, Pete Ortiz? Let me know, because I will gladly start that rumor. All right. Let's see. Trying to be like daddy. Yes, that's his whole entire goddamn career. Sorry, I'm looking like fucking Scarface's wife on the stream. All right, let's move on to the next thing that happened. I'll kind of go in order from here. Carmelo versus Andrade, a basic flippy do match. More or less just the type of match just that doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. Even the, like for instance, Carmelo had a promo before the match. Like, remember this now. We all just watched Cody Rhodes have a promo. He gets interrupted. I forgot to say he got interrupted by A-Town Down, but gets interrupted by A-Town Down. A bunch of like, it just like a bunch of guys that I don't believe would ever get into a real fight in real life or react the way that they react. Maybe I could see Austin Theory out of those three being the only one that's ready to actually fucking square up to somebody. But I could see him being more of like he just does a lot of the talking, but never actually does it, But yeah, Carmelo has a little promo before the match, and it's just like I don't believe anyone's tough guy routine on these shows. Like Carmelo, like I get what he's trying to go for. He's like this athletic sort of hot shot type of dude, and I don't know. He's missing something. He's fucking missing something. And I wanted to have this conversation about Solo, but I kind of missed it. But maybe I'll tie this in. But a lot of these guys, Solo Sikoa was cutting a promo before his match, or he cut a little promo, backstage promo, and he's like doing this, mafia tough guy routine, and I'm just like, I'm not buying it. As big as he is, as much of a probably real problem he is in real life, maybe something is just missing. Something is missing from these guys. Solo Sikoa, even, it's just missing something. Carmelo, I understand what you're trying to do, but it's you're, and I can't even put my finger on it exactly what it is. And maybe you guys can help me in the comments or in the chat here, in the live chat. But it's just an entertainment quality that I'm just not entertained when any of these people talk. Carmelo should be more funny, I think. Maybe that's what it is. He's not funny. Like if he's going for a smaller version of The Rock or something, you have everything down. You have the look, you have the sunglasses, you have the fucking haircut. but The Rock was funny. That's why we gravitated to him, and that's why he eventually became a huge baby face. It's because he entertained us, even as a heel. These guys cut promos, and they're like, I'm going to go out there, and we're going to go shot for shot, and I'm not going to be the one that misses. It's like, what the fuck is this? Who cares? And then they go out and have a match that, you know, and here's the problem with the match too, is you can see them like anticipating the next move, setting up the next move. Like, it's like one of them would go for, it's, you know, this is a bad example, but it's like if you're going for a pedigree, the guy doesn't even wait to get kicked. He's already like has his head down and his hands up, ready to get hooked for the pedigree. And it's like you're setting up you're showing us what the move is going to be. It's so goddamn annoying. Yeah, it might be cool to look at, might be cool to watch in person, but I don't get it. What's the appeal? And it fucks up the entire thing. It just ruins the entire. And also the whole thing, oh, I'm gonna do a move, I'm gonna kick you in the face, and then I'm gonna sell it for 2 seconds, and then I'm gonna kick you in the face. Now I'm all better. Kicking you in the face makes me all better. It re-energizes me. It regenerates my health. Apparently, when wrestlers hit each other, when they throw a punch, it actually regenerates health. I think that's what they're going for. These fucking anime watchers. Anime watchers become wrestlers. When you go back to when it was like, you know, football players and bouncers that, you know, had murder raps that couldn't bounce anymore. Hey, get into wrestling. Hey, you're on cocaine? Who gives a shit? It's wrestling. It's not real. You're a good creative. Keep them around. Let's go back to those days. Like I've always said, let wrestlers do cocaine again. It wasn't hurting anybody. It was self-induced. Let them do steroids. All of that shit. What does it matter? But, you know, we got to get these fucking cruiserweights. You know, you realize cruiserweights are now our main event. Cruiserweights. We've downgraded, guys. That is called Triple H gaslighting. We've downgraded, and you guys didn't even realize it. Insane. All right. You know what? I'm gonna go to the get him the fuck out of here. I might have 2 on this one, but let's go to it.
Get the hell out of my ring!
Get him the fuck out of here.
All right. This may have been quite possibly the dumbest setup for a match. I don't know if this is a feud, but Bianca Belair had a match with Chelsea Green. So to set this match up, they had the worst setup I've ever seen for a match. This is worse than there's this old adage in wrestling where it's the cup of coffee feud, where they try to start a cup of coffee or start a feud, and what they do is they're like, we got to have a reason why they start fighting. All right, somebody turns around and spills a cup of coffee on somebody, and boom, we're into a feud. This was worse than that. So basically they're like, okay, we got to set it up. So they show a vignette or a video, not package, but a video from earlier in the day where it's Belair and Cargill walking up to Nick Aldis's door. And then they're about to knock on the door, I believe, or open the door. And Chelsea Green steps in and goes, no. I'm talking to Nick Aldis first. And then the black girls go, honey, you ain't gonna talk to him first, cause we been waiting 400 years to talk to the man, and you done stepped in front of us. You know, it went there. So basically they go, Belair goes, all right, we'll see who's going to talk to Nick Aldis first. How about you meet me in the ring tonight? Who the fuck is writing this bullshit? Please tell me who wrote this. So these two have a match based on who's going to go speak to Nick Aldis first. So I guess they're going to hold to it like, hey, and also this happened earlier in the day. So both of them were like, all right, fuck it. We're not going to talk to Nick Aldis. So we're going to wait to see who wins this match. And then we're going to talk to Nick Aldis. So I guess the thing that they were talking about wasn't that important, which probably wasn't because they never showed anybody going to talk to Nick Aldis. Unless I missed that. So tell me if I missed that. But I didn't see because Bianca Belair won the match. It was a quick match. That's a good thing. That's the good thing out of this. But she never went and talked to Nick Aldis. I didn't see that part. At least I didn't see that part. And if they didn't show that, then it made that basically they wasted 20 minutes of our lives for no goddamn reason with no payoff, shitty storytelling, a shitty reason to have a match. And yeah, at least the good thing in it was that the match was like less than 5 minutes, and we got to see some titties bounce around the ring for those 5 minutes. So yeah, that's probably about it. But that was fucking horrible. That definitely takes the cake for dumbest reason, or unless somebody throws out another thing that I'm not thinking of, like a classic dumb reason to have a match. But we're going to have a match to see who speaks to the GM first. I'm going to look in the chat here to see if you guys come up with any other, like the dumbest reason that a match took place. Let's see. SmackDown segments are so boring that I always fast forward those parts. Yeah, me too. But I love cringe shit, and it's almost guaranteed that women in wrestling on TV is going to be cringe. Women promos are cringe as fuck. Always. Almost always. Let's see. We'll throw some in. Maybe I'll just read them at the end. But yeah, I see you guys are agreeing. By the way, I usually don't even cover women's wrestling. I just think it's useless. It's basically I hate that they pretend that it would exist outside of men's wrestling. It's very much like the WNBA. It's just kind of like, supplemented. It's just there as like a sort of sideshow. Well, speaking of the women, though, Bayley and Nia Jax. Now, I know this is contrary to what I just said, but they actually had a decent promo. Decent. And that's even decent for as far as the women go. But it was all right. They got a little, catty. They got a little personal, but then it got ruined. It got completely ruined by the awkward ending, by the bad acting of Nia Jax. But yeah, basically the parts that it got personal was, Bayley more or less going with the the internet. It's low-hanging fruit going with the internet talk that Nia Jax is she only hurt Bayley because she's big, clumsy, and reckless. Which in storyline, though, isn't she supposed to be that? Isn't she supposed to hurt people? Like, I get that really happened. She really did hurt people in real life, but that should be played into the storyline. Why is that like she's saying that like it's a bad thing? And then the crowd goes, oh! It's again more of that inside indie horseshit when they want to book this stuff. Everybody has to be on the inside with this shit. But yeah, basically she hurts people. But again, that's a good thing in wrestling, isn't it? But yeah, the ending, it gets ruined by Nia Jax going, is this done yet? And then rips the thing off and then spazzes it out, makes a weird face. And then it left a bad taste in my mouth. So yeah, as far as women go, I'm actually kind of high on I'm high on both of them. Except Bailey's been kind of a bore fest as of late, but I like Nia Jax. I think she's good as the queen of the ring. She's playing it up enough. She actually looks like a woman that could fuck somebody up, fuck a woman up at least, and maybe some weak dude, But yeah. Her acting needs to get a little bit better. And sometimes I'm a little confused on what Nia Jax is supposed to be. But her personality is hateable enough for her to be a good heel. So we'll see where that goes, where that leads. Who gives a fuck, right? It's women's wrestling. Now let me take it to the promo of the week.
It's the promo of the week.
Burger after burger after burger.
Jumpy, beep, beep.
Burger after burger, choppy. We ran the gamut on promos on that one. This promo of the week, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give it to, well, this is for SmackDown. Remember, I split these up now. SmackDown promo of the week, Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, this is the most amazing promo I've ever seen. I'm going to tell you why I'm giving it promo of the week, though. And really, it's for Logan Paul. And you got to give Logan Paul a lot of fucking credit on this one. Because this is honestly one of the first times I've ever seen LA Knight made to look small. Kind of got the best of LA Knight in this promo. And LA Knight is known to really like fucking destroy people on the mic. I'm sure all of you know that. But yeah, it's really one of the least likely people I would expect to kind of get the best of LA Knight, and being one of the first people to do it. But yeah, I mean, he had some stock lines in there, Logan, but he called him a catchphrase, spray tan bodybuilder, and called him a Rock ripoff, which that's kind of a generic line. Even LA Knight kind of played it off like, yeah, But where I think he really laid into LA Knight was that he went into this rant, Logan Paul did, about how he's not just defined by what he does in the ring, he's also defined by what he does outside of the ring. And he explains how he has these corporations and this is really successful podcast, and that he leaves the ring and goes and talks to former presidents and billionaires and celebrities, and he's hobnobbing with the fucking biggest stars in the world, that kind of thing. And then he went into LA Knight where he's like, hey, but I like what you do. Like, he really belittled LA Knight and then laid in on the truth. And it really was as a LA Knight fan, it was almost like hard for me to accept, especially coming from Logan Paul. But he goes, you've had no defining moments in 20 years in this business. And that was like, oh boy. And then it made me flash back to all of those, like, things that all those like little videos that were going viral of LA Knight doing like car commercials and doing all these things and Geico commercials and fucking everything that you could think of. And like it made me feel bad for LA Knight because it also really put it in this place of like Logan Paul, and this sounds crazy to say, but Logan Paul is what LA Knight is pretending to be. And that promo to me, like, it showed that, it exposed that. Like LA Knight's pretending to be the megastar, but in reality, Logan Paul in this relative to this conversation is the megastar. And not to take anything from him, he is one of the most famous people in the world right now. I think. I hope I'm not in a fucking bubble here, but yeah, I think he just I'm not gonna say that it made me like, oh fuck LA Knight, he's a hack or anything like that. I still love LA Knight. It's just this promo. It was definitely one of Logan's best promos, if not the best promo he's ever cut. And the fact that it went in on all those levels, and there was that little bit of truth that I think all the LA Knight fans even were like, oh yeah, he's fucking right. But I still like this guy. He's entertaining. At the end of the day, LA Knight is entertaining, but it also shows you that WWE needs to either fucking pull the trigger or just, stop dick teasing us with LA Knight. Do something with him. Give him some kind of attributes that we can he can at least brag about. Because you can only brag about everybody liking you for so long before that doesn't mean anything. And then that's where people become heels, because it's like the logic inevitably goes to, well, me being liked hasn't done me any good, so let me do this. Let me do these evil things and actually get successful. And LA Knight could work as a heel of the character, but he's too likable. People love him too much. I don't think they're ready to turn on LA Knight. So yeah, I just, I call a spade. Logan Paul fucking flamed LA Knight in that whole promo. There was points where I thought LA Knight was going to come back, but he never was able to get back. It's too much truth hit to him. You can't respond. Okay. Let's go to, I guess this is the last part, and then I'll go to your guys' chats. Leave whatever, comments, questions, or whatever you want in the chat, and I'll read those before I get out of here. Here's something that WWE, this is my my segment of trashing WWE and Triple H booking. So if you're not willing to listen, or you're a big Triple H dick rider, then you probably want to turn it off here. But it's not really even a big thing. It's just one of those things that I think it's where WWE and Triple H, instead of being creative, instead of doing something interesting with the character, they'd rather kind of cheat in the storytelling or the character building of certain people. And they do this a lot, and I don't know why, but Tiffany Stratton, they had and this isn't a pre-roll. I saw that comment. Fucking pre-roll. I had a pre-roll in California and it ruined my whole trip. I had to go fucking on a scavenger hunt. I won't even get into it. Jesus. So this is what they do. They had Tiffany Stratton, basically before she comes out and has her match, they have this video package of all of Tiffany Stratton's accomplishments throughout her entire career. It's like basically just a showcase. Hey, she won the women's NXT championship. She won this, she won that, then she went on to become the Miss Money in the Bank, and here we are today. And the thing I don't understand is why do they waste our time with these video packages instead of actually giving these people TV time to build their character, storyline to build their character. Show us them in some kind of scenario, something that makes us go, okay, this is how that person behaves, so we can understand like pattern of behavior. That's how we learn characters on TV. But then it's like, instead, no, we'll just show a video package. Just slap together a fucking video package, all her accomplishments, put some clips, her holding up some gold, and then we'll just have her have a regular ass match with fucking Michin. It's like they constantly protect their talent with this type of bullshit, and it annoys me. It annoys me. Too much wrestling on these shows too. Too much wrestling. Did we really need that match? What was the point of it? What was the point of it? What was the point of it of having the vignette and then having her come out right after the vignette? Like, wouldn't that be something you would show if she wasn't on the show? Like, you have that for when she may not be able to make it, or you don't have her booked. That would at least give me the logic of, okay, that's why they played the vignette. But I think it's because they don't have the creativity to actually like put these people into scenarios and scenes and, you know, situations that then eventually build to a match. Instead, it's like, look at all this cool shit she's done. It's like, you could have that, that's fine, but where's the building? I always say it, that's my catchphrase, I guess. Where is the story? What was the point? To me, it was just a waste of time. It's just filler. It reminds me much of like the old Smackdown video games. I don't know why I'm making this comparison, but when you'd have the loading screen and it would just show like a really fancy picture of a wrestler. Here's Mick Foley. And it's an autograph of Mick Foley. It's just something to kind of keep you stimulated while you're waiting for the thing to happen. That's all that is. It's like, here's an ad for a wrestler that you're going to watch. And as soon as this ad's done, you're going to watch the wrestler that this ad is for. But yeah, I Tiffany Stratton, one of my prospects as far as who I think is going to be a big star. It's just, again, these little things don't help. They're just pointless. Nobody's going to remember them. I only remember it because I wrote it fucking down. But otherwise, you just wouldn't even remember it. Now, I will say this too. I think the women are starting to like, they're kind of going a little. Did you see that Alabama slam that she gave to Michin? Yeah, it looked pretty fucking brutal. I feel like the broads are trying to make up. It's almost like women cops. They have to go a little extra hard because they're women and they don't get the respect. I tend to believe that sometimes these women do the same thing in the ring. They do like bumps that are like too ridiculous, because you could tell Michin was fucking screaming me back the entire time because she looked like she legitimately got hurt. So yeah, I think these broads are going a little too hard. Let's go back to cat fights and bra and panties matches. How about that? I'm down. I'm DTF. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was pretty much SmackDown. I think I covered everything there. I hit the main event at the beginning of the show because it all tied into the Cody thing. Again, I was trying to look for what was missing from Solo Sikoa. I feel like he's all right. And a lot of people tell me, "Oh, he's just ripping off Roman Reigns." It's like, yeah, that's the point. That's the story. So that doesn't even bother me. That doesn't even really bother me. It's like him cutting his promo, his little backstage promo with his whole crew behind him. Like, it's a cool visual. It all looks good. He doesn't have a bad look. He kind of has a baby face, so that bothers me sometimes when he's trying to be tough, but it's like your face doesn't look scary. But I don't know. When he's cutting his promo, I feel like maybe it's missing like some intensity. It's missing just some energy. It's maybe it's his delivery. Sometimes he does kind of like quickly like rush through words because of his I guess his Samoan accent, whatever the fuck it is. Sometimes Damian Priest does that too with his shitty Puerto Rican accent where he's like, "Let me tell you something, man. I'm going to fight you, Sasuke." Oh, he's throwing Spanglish in there for some reason. Enough. Coop, good point there. He talks too quiet. I think you might be right. I think it's a little too from I don't know, maybe it's just from Samoans. I want some savagery. I think the thing is I've seen some promos from Jacob Fatu. And the thing about Jacob is you can tell he's really actually probably been through some fucking rough shit in his life. Like some street shit. I heard he has like a record or something. But I don't know how true that is. But I heard he was involved in the whole street thing. There is some things about the Samoans being really heavy into the street life too. So the thing is, though, I don't know if he has or not. Point being is that when he talks, he has that in him. Like you can feel it. Like he has that realism in him. So Jacob, I don't know, maybe needs to give some pointers to Solo. But Solo is just missing that. I think it's that. Maybe that just street kind of gritty element to him. You kind of feel like he grew up like maybe sheltered his life. Probably the fat kid got picked on. Parents were always like, "Hey, don't pick on Solo." You know? So, yeah, I could see that being the problem. Talks too quiet. But yeah, I'll bring this one up. How do you feel about the presentation of the new bloodline? I actually do like the presentation. I like the members they've added. I like the carnage. I like the savagery. Savage tree. Is that the way you say it? I like that they're being very protected. They're actually just destroying main event, even legends. So yeah, I like the suits. I like the whole mafia kind of thing. They're actually playing that off very well because everybody wears suits nowadays. Theirs gives you a little bit more like, yeah, those guys are connected, you know? They're wearing suits, but the suits aren't wearing them. You know what I mean? Jacob feels more like a leader. I don't know if I would say that because Jacob definitely feels like the most tough and the most savage and the most chaotic and the most dangerous. Let's put it that way. But that doesn't always mean leader. Sometimes that means what he is, which is enforcer. Sometimes most of the times, those guys aren't good leaders. People tend to hate them. Yes, good point. That's kind of what I'm saying here. Boban. 10 Boban. Oh, Jesus. Zamir. Let me just call you Zamir. I shorten last names. Call you Z. He's too volatile to be a leader. Exactly. It's like I've been doing a lot of Mafia, Goodfellas comparisons, but it's like Tommy from Goodfellas. He can't be a leader. Yeah, technically he was going to get made and become a boss, but Jimmy was the real leader. Jimmy was just happy that Tommy was getting made because now he had a real deal, like he had a life insurance policy more or less. But yeah, Tommy couldn't be a real leader. You get what I'm saying? Too volatile, too crazy, too unpredictable. He's a cowboy. So I could see it being even a point. Definitely there's going to be a point where Jacob is uncontrollable even by Solo. That could work. But yeah. I don't Coop says imagine Jacob was the tribal chief. I don't really see that again. Too crazy. Too crazy. But yeah. I mean I like the new bloodline. They get a lot of hate. People say they're boring. I could see that. I could see why you would think it would be boring at points. But I like the presentation, I like the look, and I like a good amount of the storyline. Most of it though is definitely waiting for it all to implode. So I'll admit I haven't been watching SmackDown. That's why I haven't done any reviews. I'm not just gonna come on here and make up shit or watch highlights. But SmackDown is fucking hard to get through though. We'll get to that at some point. But yeah, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. What was the last thing I read? Jesus. I just realized how much I fucking hate SmackDown. It just threw me off. Yeah, I can see why you would think it was boring, but I'm into the implosion, waiting for the implosion, which I assume we're thinking it's gonna happen at SummerSlam, which is I believe next week. I'll see if I'm off. If I'm free, I may do a watch along here on the show. We used to do those all the time, but schedules got crazy. We also do another channel, by the way, Misfit Nation. Go over to, you can see the little icon there, Misfit Nation, spelled exactly how it sounds. Talk about some political stuff and pop culture and whatnot. Basically everything that's not wrestling. And then sometimes we do talk about wrestling on that channel. Like Hulk Hogan recently killing at the RNC. Hulkamania is back. And I couldn't be more happy. Let's see. I'll shout out all the chat while I get out of here. I would have thought this audience was mostly built from Misfit Nation. I don't know. I know who's here from Misfit Nation and who's not, but oh, thank you, Coop. I'm a sub to the Misfit Nation channel. Should be bigger. This channel should be bigger. Thank you. Yeah, we're at 6K on our Misfit Nation channel. We actually started this channel, I think, earlier this year. We did a lot of wrestling content on Misfit Nation, and then we were like, fuck it, let's just make our own channel for wrestling specifically. Plus, we got demonetized for, saying some I won't even say bad things. I mean, we do say bad things, don't get me wrong. I'm all for it. But yeah, for breaking some rules that shouldn't have been rules to begin with. But yeah, so we got demonetized. That channel is basically getting fucking shadow banned, and they're waiting for me to fucking stand on a stage so they can get a guy on a sloped roof for me after they watch that channel. So basically, yeah, that's why we kind of made this channel. But also because I was getting tired of listening to these jerk offs that do wrestling podcasts. There's literally And I'm not counting wrestlers that do podcasts, but like wrestling podcasts, there's like maybe 2 that I actually enjoy listening to, even if I disagree with them. Like, it's just this like politically correct fucking like political for no reason anyway, like as if they're all in the business. It's like, what the fuck are you? Like, obviously we respect wrestling. I love wrestling, but I'm not going to sit here and do a show like I'm fucking like I'm Steve Austin. You know what I mean? Like, of course it's just enough. Where they get offended when you talk about, like, hey, Kenny Omega sucks a dick. Or you say the word faggot. Never see that on What Culture, right? Yeah. So it's just I got tired. I'm so tired of all of that in entertainment and podcasting in general. Podcasting should like be one of the least political. And I don't mean that as in political literally. I mean like PC, politically correct places on earth. It's the last place, the last vestige of fucking free speech left is podcasts, and they're trying to take them down. So in anything I do, whether it be wrestling or whatever, that's my my attitude going into it. So yeah. And I'm tired of the goddamn feminism in wrestling, the nerds that actually talk about women's wrestling like it's equal. Like they pretend like they don't see the fucking powder puffs that are getting thrown around. And the women jump through a table and it doesn't even break. And they go, oh, it's just as good as the men. Just as good as the men. Fuck you. Suck a dick. That's where the word faggot applies. That's exactly where it applies. But yeah, it's just enough of it. So ride it until the wheels fall off. That's my my motto. We'll see what oh yes, thank you, Coop. Nyla Rose. I just did a video on that. It's wrestling. I think the video is called Wrestling is Losing Its Freak Show Element. I talked about that. Nyla Rose. The one place in the world that we should be able to acknowledge that Nyla Rose is a fucking freak show is wrestling. We should be able to acknowledge that that's a goddamn dude. It's the one place. And to be real, that was the argument I made last week, was that it might be the one place that you could make the argument that transsexuals could be in it, because one, it's a sport that's not real. They could still hurt the women, but but there's at least a pre-scripted kind of like protection involved there. And also, though, we would have to acknowledge that it's a fucking dude. There's been intergender wrestling before, but we always acknowledged that it was a dude dressed as a woman. The fact that we got to pretend that it's a real woman, it's weird. It's like kayfabe within kayfabe. I don't know. It's mind-boggling. The Simps. Thank you. Boban. I like that name. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Boban. I see a white guy there in the picture. It's probably Boban. Boban. That sounds more ethnic. Or Simps, maybe. Yes, enough with the Simps. Enough with the, Sasha Banks is the great, because what, you think she's going to hear it and fucking come and suck your dick? She sucks. I don't care if she was sucking my dick. She sucks, and I would tell her. I tell my own girlfriend she sucks at stuff. Nothing wrong with that. That's how you make them better. Hey, sweetheart, you're not doing good at this. You should clean a little bit more. Figure it out. You know what I mean? And then I have my roles. I'm good at my roles. She doesn't complain. But then, like they try to complain when you complain. Like, oh, well, since you're going to say it. No, you didn't say it before. I don't accept that. Yeah. But I don't know how the fuck I rolled into that. Yeah, I'm just done with all of that stuff. All of that stuff in every facet of my entertainment and my life. I'm weeding it out, weeding it all out. And the way I put it, just to make it simple, it's bitch assness that I'm weeding out of my life. Bitches, women and dudes. And that's my my theory as far as like there's women and then there's men and then there's sort of, it's like a Venn diagram. There's that overlap. And this is a personality thing, that overlap, and there's that gray area between men and women, and it's called bitches. And it's whenever a man starts acting too much like a woman, he's a bitch. Whenever a woman starts acting too much like a man, she's a bitch. So that's basically what I'm weeding out. That overlap. Why can't I do that with my hands? That overlap. All right. Let's see. Oh, he's Turkish. Turkish. That's white, isn't it? I mean, what does it matter? White isn't even like a real race. Race isn't real. All right, now I'm getting into too much into fucking Misfit Nation. That's where you'll find all that conversation. Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat here seems to have a good, and you know, I know you're probably not fully agreeing with me on everything, but you all seem to have a good mentality. You all seem to not be bitches, and that's what I appreciate. Shout outs to Boban Zavonimir. Appreciate you. Coop, thank you for joining. You created a good platform. Thank you, man. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you, man. I don't know. I try not to judge it as far as that, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Means a lot. Means a lot. You know what? I'm not going to give you a shout out, Muhammad, just because you asked. Manner, sir. I'm kidding. Shout outs to Muhammad Bassin. Belhassin. Belhassin. You know where I think it throws me off is because where I come from, we put the H after the S. So I don't know how to pronounce that. But shout outs to you, Muhammad. You know I love you. Always coming in with the positivity. That's what a lot of people misconstrue about me. I may come off as a negative fuck. I understand that. But I do like positive comments too. Appreciate you. Skrill Revive. I really don't know who this guy is, but he scares the hell out of Skrill, and I love it. The real Skrill. Skrill Revive. Shout outs to you. I don't know why I put that comment up. I just clicked your name. Let's see. I know Peter Ortiz was in here earlier. Peter Ortiz been around for a long time. He'll show you guys the ropes, huh? Shout outs to Peter Ortiz. Shout outs to AD. I think AD's been around for a while as well. I think he comes from the Misfit Nation. If I remember correctly, that may be like a pretty generic name. No offense. No offense. I've known about 6 or 7 ADs in my life, but I come from the hood, so that may be what it is. I see Coop keeping the chat alive here tonight. I appreciate that, man. And Boban. Well, Ben, you've been helping out too. And I think I got everybody here. Oh, Darnell Stewart. He was here before anybody, before I was even here. Shout outs to him. Darnell Stewart. I don't know if he caught the live show. All right. AD is my initials. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I know it's late. Again, I do usually late shows because of work schedules. I usually do this show also with Wunda. But he's got his own business and stuff he's been doing. So I've been just kind of pulling the weight. But he'll be back on at some point, but I'll be holding it down here. Be holding it down for you guys watching this horse shit. I'll be honest. This is the first SmackDown I watched in a while, maybe like a month or two. Actually longer. Like maybe since Cody's been the champion, I haven't been able to watch SmackDown, but I'll be honest, I don't know if I could do this every week. I don't know. But what I do is if I do watch both shows, or if I don't watch both shows, I'll just kind of combine everything that I did watch into one show and just cover everything that I did enjoy. So, yeah. If you're sorry, I know that's after everything I said, I know you also maybe wanted more consistency, but if I'm gonna come here and just fucking, it has to be something that makes me go like I have to go on and tell you how much I hated this. But I'd like to come on and talk about good things. Listen, last week's Raw that just happened was actually a pretty decent show, I thought. So Raw's been killing it, I think. As far not killing it, but they've been killing SmackDown. SmackDown is a goddamn bore fest. But I'll be still watching Raw. I've been enjoying Raw. SmackDown, I'm just iffy on. I'm iffy on it. But I'll find maybe highlights, something. But watching an entire episode of SmackDown these days, it's a chore. It's a fucking chore, man. You know? But I don't write the shit. I just watch it. All right, well, let me get out of here, guys. Thank you again, everybody in the chat. I think if I'm promoting anything, hey, shopmisfitnation.com as well. We have some merch. We have some kayfabe merch as well. And yeah, maybe I'm gonna, do some more wrestling merch. It's just weird with wrestling because, all the copyrights and all the fucking licensing and all that stuff. You got to be careful what you use. So I'll figure it out though. Got to get creative. Yeah, I'm out of here, guys. ShopMisfitNation.com, Podbean, MisfitNation.podbean.com. Most of our stuff is built for Misfit Nation. This kayfabe thing is just a endeavor. We just started not too long ago, so there's not many outlets for just kayfabe, but you can hit us up about wrestling on all of our social medias, at Crishaun the Don on X, formerly known as Twitter, the artist formerly known as Twitter, at Crishaun the Don. You can see it spelled right here, spelled just like that. Misfit Nation at Twitter, or at Misfit Nation on Twitter. And yeah, that's all of it. I won't fucking cheap plug you anymore. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. And I am out of here. Good night.
This is a Misfit Nation production.
You want to be a friend of the cartel?
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the studio, they are the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment. Crishaun the Don and Wunda from Kayfabe Cartel.
You're staying. You belong to the cartel now.